اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق وهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. الحمد لله رب العالمين. أفضل صلاة وأتم تسليما على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ورضي الله تعالى عن هذا السادات التابعين علماء عاملين أئمة أربع اجتهادهم إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. الحمد لله رب العالمين. Usul Tariqah. Usul Tariqah is Usul Tariqah is one of the works of the Sheikh Uthman ibn al-Fodi rahmatullahi alayhi, and it deals with the spiritual path. It deals with the spiritual path. The Usul Tariqah, the spiritual path, is basically general. It's in a general sense. It's not just related to. It's not just related to schools, any schools of Tariqah, just a general basis and foundation. In actuality, if you are familiar with the Shadaliya Tariqah notes, basically the Usul Tariqah is basically a summary of the Shadaliya Tariqah notes. The Shadali Tariqah, the Sheikh Uthman ibn Fodi rahmatullahi alayhi, he is a part of the Shadali Silsila through Abu Hassan al-Shadali rahmatullahi alayhi, which the Shadali Tariqah is actually connected to the Senate of the Tariqah that the Sheikh Uthman ibn Fodi is from. Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani rahmatullahi alayhi. The foundations of this path is, like I said, it's basically a summary of the Shadaliya Tariqah notes, and the definition of tasawwuf or ilm ihsan or Sufism is generally practicing, learning the Sharia and practicing what you know of the Sharia in regards to the spiritual states, and confirming the character, fashioning your character after the character of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I'm doing a video recording that inshallah ta'ala I'm going to post, but I set up the Facebook Live, and I got 24 hours before I'm able to use the Facebook Live. So tomorrow's Tahdimu Insana Min Al-Qasas Shaitan class will be live stream on YouTube, and next week this class will be live stream on YouTube. I know last week I had decided that I wasn't going to do live stream, but because for the sake of the dhikr group and many brothers that are in the dhikr group on Facebook Messenger are not in Philly, they're in North Carolina. So for the purpose of them, I'm gonna do Facebook Live. I'm gonna do YouTube Live, inshallah, and post it to the group so that inshallah they can take benefit. Because the reason why I decided to do it, because of the discussion that was had yesterday in the dhikr group on Facebook pertaining to tasawwuf. I had posted in the group the statements of the ulama from the Salaf and the ulama from the Khalaf regarding ilmu ihsan and tasawwuf, what they had to say about it. And the misconception is that instead of reading the posts, people, brothers resorted to what they was actually taught, or what they actually regurgitated. I can't say that they was taught that, because if they was taught the things that they were saying, they taught that they learned that from someone that did not provide them any evidence, or put obligation on us to establish some evidence when they didn't put the burden on the person who told them this stuff for them to establish evidence for them. Clearly, in the minhaj of the Shi, who is evidence for tasawwuf, ilmu ihsan, and umdatul bayan, and umdatul ulama, ihya usul ikhmadul bidah. And a lot of these brothers, they would understand, they would know this if they was participating in the classes that I do on Zoom. Apparently, they refuse to download Zoom so that they can catch the classes. That's not my concern. That's not my concern. That's the concern of their Amir in their locality. So inshallah ta'ala, I'm going to begin with Usul Tariqah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Peace and blessings be upon our Master Muhammad and upon his family and companions. Says the poor slave in need of the mercy of his Lord, Uthman ibn Muhammad ibn Uthman, the one who was Fulani by lineage, Nasab, Maliki by school of thought, Madhab, and Al-Ashari by creed. All praise are due to Allah for his abundant favors. I bear witness that there is no deity except Allah alone with no partner. And I bear witness that Muhammad is his servant and messenger, the possessor of beautiful and perfect qualities. Peace and blessings of Allah be upon him and his family and companions, and upon those who help him and those who are sincere with Allah. The 5 foundations of the path. The 5 foundations of the path. The knowing scholar, Sheikh Abul Abbas Ahmed ibn Muhammad ibn Isa, who was famous as Az-Zaruq al-Fahsi. May Allah be pleased with him, and may he benefit us by him, said, these are the foundations of the spiritual path, Usul Tariqah. Whoever neglects any of them, Allah will inhibit him from spiritual arrival, al-Usul. There are 5 things. And you notice that many of the Shihu's works, he quotes Ahmed Zaruq. He quotes him in Usul Tariqah, and he quotes Abu Hassan al-Shadili, rahimahullah, in Usul Tariqah. Mind you, Ahmed Zaruq was a murid of Sheikh Abu Hassan al-Shadili. So the barakah and the benefit of receiving tasawwuf, teachings of tasawwuf from both these great ulama, great walis of Allah, is that everyone who benefits from the work of the Shihu also benefits from the work of Abu Hassan al-Shadili and Ahmed Zaruq, rahimahullah. The 5 foundations of the spiritual path. 1, fear of Allah, secretly and openly. 2, following the Sunnah by word and deed. 3, shunning people coming or going. 4, contentment with Allah in little and much. And 5, resignation to Allah during prosperity and adversity. Come on, man. You got to get him.
Come here.
Okay.
Go get smart. Come here.
The achievement of the above 5. The achievement of fear of Allah is by means of sincere piety and uprightness. The achievement of following the Sunnah is by means of conservation and excellent character. The achievement of contentment with Allah is by moderation and consigning matters over to Allah. The achievement of resigning to Allah is by being in a state of praise and thankfulness during prosperity and taking recourse to Allah during adversity. The 5 roots of the above 5. The roots of the above 5 are also 5. High spiritual resolution is 1. 2. The guarding of sanctity. 3. The perfection of service to Allah. 4. The premonition of firm intention. And 5. The glorification of blessings. As a result, whoever raises his spiritual resolution has raised his spiritual ranks. Whoever perfects his service to Allah has made his nobility indispensable. Whoever implements his firm intention makes his guidance persist. Whoever glorifies blessings is grateful, and whoever is grateful merits increase in blessings because of the truthful promise of the benefactor. The roots of behavior, Usul Mu'amalat, are 5. The 5 roots of behavior. 1. Seeking knowledge in order to implement the commands. 2. Keeping company with the sheikhs and the brothers in the path in order to attain inner sight. 3. Avoiding compromise, ruqsa, and false interpretations in order to adhere to restraints. 4. Maintaining the exact times of the litanies, awrads, in order to attain presence with Allah. And 5. Being suspicious of the nafs in order to abandon corrupt passions and be safe from errors. That which undermines seeking knowledge is keeping company with people who are immature by age, intellect, intelligence, and by deen. Those who make it a habit of not depending upon the foundations nor the fundamentals of good behavior. That which undermines keeping company is by self-deception and boasting. That which undermines avoiding compromise and false interpretation is having sympathy for the nafs. That which undermines maintaining the exact times of the awrad is overextending one examination into the merits of supererogatory actions. That which undermines suspicions of the nafs is being too familiar with the beauty of its condition and seeing perfection and its steadfastness. Allah Ta'ala says, وذكر به أن تبصر نفس بما كسبت ليس لها من دون الله ولي ولا شفيع وإن تعدل كل عدل لا يؤخذ منها. And remind them thereby at least a nafs should be given to destruction for what it has earned. It shall not have next to Allah any guardian nor intercessor. And if it should seek to give every compensation, it shall not be accepted from it. And the noble one, the son of the noble one, Yusuf ibn Yaqub, alayhi salam, said, وَمَا أُبَرِّئُ نَفْسِي إِنَّ النَّفْسَ لَأَمَّارَةُ بِسُوءِ إِلَّا رَحِيمَ رَبِّي غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. I do not declare myself free. Verily, nafs is wont to command to evil, except such as my Lord has been merciful. The 5 roots of curing the illnesses of the nafs. Illness of the nafs. The 5 roots by which the sickness of the nafs can be cured are by 5 things. 1, decreasing the amount of food during meals. 2, resorting to Allah when obstacles cross his path. 3, fleeing from a scene in which it is feared some evil will occur. 4, being persistent in seeking forgiveness from Allah along with prayer upon the Prophet ﷺ while one is in seclusion. And 5, keeping company with the one who can direct you to Allah or to the commands of Allah, and realize that that type of person is almost non-existent. The roots of misfortune and loss. The roots of misfortune and loss. Abu Hassan al-Shadili rahmatullahi alayhi said, "My beloved once gave me counsel. He said, do not move your feet except wherever you hope for the reward of Allah. Do not sit except in a place where you are completely secure from the disobedience of Allah. Do not keep company except with one who can assist you in the obedience of Allah. And realize that they are few." He also said, may Allah be pleased with him, "Whoever directs you towards this world has deceived you. Whoever directs you towards work has burdened you. Whoever directs you to Allah has given you sound advice." He also said, make fearful awareness taqwa your country. Then the praise of people will not harm you. This is as long as you do not become satisfied with your errors, persistent sins, or as long as your fear of Allah does not cease when you are alone. I say that the above 3 are the foundations of misfortune and loss. Usul Tariqah wal Alafat. The 5 afflictions of the fuqara. Further, Ahmed Zarruq said, I have noticed that the fuqara of these times are afflicted by 5 things. 1, preference of ignorance over knowledge. 2, being deluded by everybody and his brother. 3, talking nonsense concerning matters. 4, being proud and boastful concerning the spiritual path. And 5, hastening spiritual opening without first establishing its prerequisites. The 5 additional afflictions of the fuqara. I say that the fuqara in our times are afflicted by 5 more things. Preferring innovation over the sunnah. Following the people of falsehood over the people of truth. Acting according to one's passions in all matters or in most matters. 4, seeking after lies and spiritual hopes over and above spiritual realities. And 5, exhibiting of false claims and pretense over and above sincerity and integrity. The 5 things which overcome the fuqara. The fuqara are overcome by 5 more things. 1, corrupt whisperings during worship. 2, being persistent in corrupt customs. 3, gathering together during all hours of the day and night. 4, trying to win the affection of people by every possible way. And 5, keeping company with worldly people, including women and children. They also have become deceived by some of what has happened among the people of the path and by the citations from some of their teachings. However, if they were to have spiritual realization, they will know that being persistent in corrupt customs is only a license for those weak in the religion, and realize that the advantages of spiritual realizations are a cure. And one should discharge the rights of servitude to Allah and not persist in these customs if they take him far from Allah, and realize that audition is a mercy to the one who has incurred Allah's anger, or to the one who has attained spiritual perfection. For auditions means being settled upon the carpet of the real, that is based on the condition that he is from among its people, its station, and acts according to his courtesies. And as just a note, last week in Ihya Suno Ikhmadul Bidah, the Shihu Rahimullah, he had explained what auditions, Sama'a, was broken down into categories about auditions. Like I said, this right here, what is mentioned here is a brief summary, but he broke it down extensively in Ihya Suno Ikhmadul Bidah. Realize that evil whisperings are pure innovation, and that its root emerge from 1, ignorance of the Sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, or 2, mental discourse in one's reasoning. And realize that showing favoritism in order to gain the attention of people leads to one turning away from the Lord of truth, especially if he is a hypocritical Quranic reciter, a heedless tyrant, or an ignorant Sufi. Realize also that keeping company with youth leads to injustice and shame in this world and in the deen. And accepting the intimacies of youth is among the greatest errors for one on the path. Sidi Abu Madian, Rahimullah, said, Allah be pleased with him, said, the youth is he who is not in conformity with his spiritual path, even if he is 70 years of age. I say that he is the one who is not firmly established in his spiritual state, and he should not accept what he hears from anyone, from just anyone, and be comfortable with it. For most of those who you will find doing that are those who belong to divergent groups and those who are students. Therefore, you should beware of them with all your efforts. The 5 ways to expose those who make false spiritual claims. Whoever claims spiritual stations with Allah, then there appears upon him one of 5 things is either a liar, or he is one of those who are hopelessly lost. We seek refuge with Allah. They are 1, dispatching his limbs into the disobedience of Allah. 2, showing pretense during obedience of Allah. 3, having greed for the creation of Allah. 4, causing discord among the people of Allah. 5, showing a lack of respect for the Muslims as Allah has commanded and by which Islam perfects. The conditions of the teaching sheikh. The conditions of the teaching sheikh, to whom the murid must give his nafs over to, are 5. 1, sound knowledge. 2, sound perceptivity or tasting. 3, exalted resolution. 4, pleasing spiritual states. And 5, penetrating inner discernment. The 5 traits which negate benefiting from the shaykh. Whoever possesses 5 characteristics will never be corrected by the sheikhs. Ignorance of the deen, disrespecting the honor of the Muslims. 3, entering into that which is not his business. 4, following his whims in everything. And 5, possessing evil character without any care to change. The adab of the murid with the sheikh and the brothers in the path. The adab of the murid with the sheikh and the brothers in the path are 5. Of the path are 5. 1, following his command, even when it goes against what he wants. 2, avoiding what he forbids, even when it brings about his own physical destruction. 3. Preserving his honor in his presence or absence, living or deceased. 4. Discharging his rights in accordance with one's capacity without being defective in that. And 5. Setting aside his intellect, knowledge, and authority except where these are in conformity with his sheikh. When his intellect, knowledge, and authority are in conformity with his sheikh, he should guide others with equity and sincerity. And in this same way, he should behave with the brothers of the path if there is no teaching sheikh, or if he finds him deficient from the above 5 conditions of a teaching sheikh. He should rely upon that which is complete in the sheikh, and then behave with the brothers in the remainder. The benefit of this work. The benefits of this work. It is necessary for you, O seeker, to study this work every day, twice every day, or at least once. If this is not possible, then once a week, until its meaning become imprinted in the nafs. You should act in accordance with the judgments of this book, because it contains instructions which will suffice you from reading any other book on this subject. It has been said, verily a rival is prohibited by the loss of foundations. Whoever looks into that will realize that. After that, he should then always take an oath to adhere to what is in this book with the aim of preserving its truths. May Allah give us and you success in pleasing him, for he is due that and powerful enough for it. He is enough for us as the best of guardians. There is no power nor might except with Allah, the exalted, the mighty. All praises are due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Peace and blessings be upon the Messenger of Allah. May Allah bless him and grant him peace. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah ta'ala, tomorrow I will do the Tahdeem wa Insanu min al-Qasas wa Shaitan class. It was only a couple of participants today. I spoke with C. Ahmed Sadiq, because he's on duty tonight, so he wasn't going to be able to listen to the class. But alhamdulillah, for those who did participate, inshallah, I'll try to keep it up and stay consistent, because any consistency, any consistency, you can derive great benefit from consistency. You know, it becomes, after 40 days, it's perfection. It becomes part of your character. So, inshallah ta'ala, I'll see everyone tomorrow. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin bi rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulika kareem. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina Muhammad al-Fatih lima uqlika wa khatimi lima sabaqa nasr al-haq bil haq wa hadi ila siratika al-mustaqim wa ala alihi haqqa qadrihi miqdarihi al-azim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.